after last week, do you feel like a worse photographer than you were?
Yeah, I took all that advice
Literally?
up to my cabin shoot,
And applied it all?
just crushed it, and surprisingly made some enemies. I thought this show is about helping, but
No, we're not here to help anybody. We're here to riff and give sarcastically confusing advice. Is this true? Is this what we shouldn't do? No, last week we took an ironic and sarcastic approach, and we told you all the ways we thought that you could become the worst photographer possible in a business sense. And we're going to do the same thing today, try and bring the same demeanor, but talk about how we think you could be the worst photographer ever from an artistic standpoint. Does that sound good?
yeah, it sounds better than cleaning up seltzer water everywhere. Just opened a fresh seltzer and then knocked it off
You
my
just did
counter.
that?
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of late and scrambling because I had to clean like crazy before we started.
You had to clean seltzer.
Clean the seltzer.
Okay. Well,
How do you get seltzer out with some soda water?
Try to not knock it over next time.
There's like this much left. So that's all I'm going to get.
All right. Well, I got a bubbly going. Guess my flavor.
Grape.
It's blue. The can's blue.
Grape.
Are grapes blue? No, it's blueberry pomegranate. Let's get into today's episode.
All right.
Enough of that. Do you want the same format or do you want to? Last week I said my piece and then you just took it to the end zone.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
That's what I'm prepared for. So
that's what you're prepared. Yeah, I mean, if you're spilling seltzer everywhere and you're just a hurricane, I doubt you've had time to conjure up a list.
Nope. In my mind, a few things, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sure you covered it.
All right, this is how to be the worst photographer ever. Artist edition. Check out last week's for business edition if you didn't hear that. Okay, here's what you're going to definitely want to do, all right? Right off the bat, say no to things that you are currently unable to do. For example, I'm unable to fly a drone, so therefore I can't and I shan't. I can't do video, so I'm not going to do that because I don't know how to do it, and I feel like I'm really good at photos, so I'm just going to stick to that. I think that's a long-term recipe to just expand your skill set if you just you don't say yes to anything. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you don't quench the thirst of your curiosity. It's a silly thing to do.
Yeah, stay in your lane.
Always. I do that when I'm driving on the highway. I don't know about you. You know how many exits I miss because I just won't change lanes?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a photographer, be a photographer. Don't do other stuff. Don't expand and offer more things for your clients.
No.
Let alone your art craft. And this is the art episode. This definitely blends into last week's, but yeah, don't change the viewpoint, the eye, the experience, the musicality of it all, where you can add different tones and ideas and creativity to your toolkit. I wouldn't do any of that.
I just shoot portraits on Instagram. I'm not going to take pictures of dogs, even though I really like dogs, or sports, even though I really like sports. People have come to the Coliseum to see me post my portraits.
Right.
They're expecting it.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, there's some really good examples of some of our friends and ourselves. I'm flipping it now to gave the opportunity to Nooch is who comes to mind, who couldn't fly a drone, a FPV drone, and decided, well, I need to be able to do this to offer some of the things that I'm relying on other people to maybe be able to do. And I mean, that has been completely fruitful for him in the last couple
artistically
of
and
years.
business-wise.
Yeah, artistically and business wise, but just expand. What you learn in video can help you in your photography. What you learn in photography can help you in your drone flying, in your drone portraits. Portraits can help you with wildlife. Wildlife can help you with portraits. So, I think expanding your horizon is a good idea if you don't want to be the worst photographer.
I think it's also it's refreshing too if you especially feel boxed in.
Mm-hmm.
In my prior example, you're a portrait person. Oh, that's all I do. That's what people expect of me. It's like a pressure release valve to go out and shoot things that aren't maybe necessarily what you're exceptional at or known for, but that you just genuinely love. I think that can help bring you back to the roots of why you maybe started this creative journey in the first place. And I feel like, speaking from experience, if you do this for a long enough time, you can often lose sight of why you started. And going out and taking pictures of things that you love or that are in an entirely different genre sometimes makes it nicer to come back to your main genre. You come back with some different perspectives. More importantly, often a new energy and excitement because you've been away from it for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Well said. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess that kind of, I have a different point. It was stick to the same genre, which we kind of just touched on. So we'll eliminate that one.
Yeah.
Okay. If I wanted to be the worst photographer ever artistically, I would probably suggest that you go out and shoot with absolutely zero intent. You got an amazing mirrorless camera. It's 60 megapixels. You're in the Rockies or the Tetons or wherever the hell, whatever beautiful place of the many there are on Earth. And you just start pointing in directions, and you do so with the mindset of, oh, this is going to create something good. I know it is because I'm just in the nicest place on Earth and I've got the greatest gear of all time and I'll make something of it. Definitely do that.
Yeah, more shots is better. Goes along with that. Like, just, I don't know, when you're shooting landscapes, make sure you put it on high release mode and just get 20 just in case they're out of focus. Look at every different angle, run around like crazy. I would try to get like 3 sunset spots in every night. Like, go. It's sunset. I have an hour essentially. I'm going to 3 different locations to get the most bang for my buck. I feel like, that's the way. Just sort of get as much as you possibly can and figure it out later.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't fill a 256 gigabyte SD card, you haven't done your job. I like your advice of, make sure you're on 24 frames per second on a sunset, so you get the clouds an extra centimeter to the left or right. Because you're really gonna be happy with yourself when you're having to sift through all those in Lightroom and cull. Because let's face it, that's what we want to be doing. We want to be 2 inches away from our laptop screen, figuring out the difference, like a spot the difference game, and adding 10 hours to our workflow. That's fun.
Yeah. Just keep. I think, I don't even know if 256 is enough gigabytes.
Well, you have 2 slots, so
yeah, I would double it, maybe 512.
Sure. CF Express.
Have one of those and just fill it. And you see, the problem with intention, the problem with going there with a shot and slowing down and figuring out where's the composition that I really want, and the photo that I'm really going to be excited about editing and waiting on that moment. The problem with that is it's just one photo, one or 2 photos versus, I mean, you're there, you can get thousands if you just,
why not get thousands of what the hells instead of like 40 incredible ones?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think intention just slows you down. and produces maybe a better product, but
We're not in the business of a better product.
not a lot of it. Not
No.
going to have a lot of it. So
We want to be
blast
average.
away.
We want to be average. Less is less. No, less is never more.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. The flip side, obviously. Going with intent, have a plan. Less is not less. Leaving with a small set of photos you're really proud of and you saw from start to finish, idea to execution, is the sign of someone who I feel like has matured in this craft.
Yeah,
So
an interesting.
let certain moments go and pick your moments too.
Yeah. So going into, I had a shoot this weekend, and I think I've matured as a photographer in the sense of what we're talking about, like really going in with a plan and executing it and not getting stuck with some old habits. And I was explaining to friends, one of those old habits is Saturday morning, I had a shoot. It was foggy. It was a pretty good sunset. I'd give it or a sunrise. I'd give it a B plus, A minus. Like maybe not the most amazing thing. It was pretty clear out, but there was a high fog, and the sun, as it's ripping through the fog, created this pretty cool sensation and environment and atmosphere. Cool. Got my shot list. I said in the past, what tends to happen is the next morning is a different kind of sunrise. It might be a little bit more cloudy. It might be a better sunrise. And there's a tendency to veer from the plan of morning number 2 sunrise and getting those shots or video. In this case, I wanted video for Sunday morning and redoing all the shots that were already pretty good because now there's a slightly different sunrise and I want to get the same shots again. So now I'm frantically trying to get the same shots again, or at least some of the great compositions, and then redo the video and get the video as well. And sometimes I would miss the boat on the video because now I'm more focused on the photography again versus sticking to the plan.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting, like, and one of my friends said, yeah, but they don't, when you hand in the B plus, A minus atmosphere, they don't know what the next day was. So they don't know that they're missing out. And I know it's a little bit hard and you have to like control your ego or whatever it is to be like, all right, I'm going to skip out on these potential photos because they're slightly better and just stick to the plan. That's a little bit tough of a practice because I know we're all striving for the best, but it's one of those things, intention and sticking with the plan. And even in that case, like going through with it. Luckily for me, I had 2 very similar mornings. So there wasn't that urge to redo anything.
That was practicing or acquiring the antidote to perfection in that example.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm smiling here because I had the exact same scenario a couple weeks ago. I was doing work for a brand and they needed canoe shots and I wanted to do them obviously at sunset and had planned to do them on a certain day. And it was one of those pastel skies where there's nothing crazy going on with the clouds. The colors aren't super, it's not a burner, as we'd say.
Yeah.
But just a nice, evenly flowing from horizon to top of sky gradient, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I know this location. I know how good this can be, but my schedule says that I'm shooting this today. I'm not going to flip-flop things around. This is pretty good. It's unique in its own sense, in its own right. I don't think there's 2 identical sunsets or sunrises ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I practiced exactly what you just talked about. And I'm proud of that because perfectionist me would have blown this where the thought could have crept in of, oh, well, I'll try again in the morning or tomorrow just in case it's better than what I have now because I know there's the capability for this setting to be much better than it is. But then what is better? Is different. Right? So I made sure the next day to not even pay attention to what the sun was like an active decision. I don't care. I'm not going to put thought into is this better or not. And avoided what you just said and was able to stay on track with other shots I needed to get done. So that's a great points. And for all my recovering perfectionists, there's opportunities similar to this in every genre and in daily life to practice this. It was a good enough, this looks, and there was no questions about the submissions. These look great.
Yeah.
Awesome. I realize we're tying a little bit into business there, but like I said, you said these can overlap. But yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Take and seek out inspiration and make sure that you do it exactly the same way always. Flat lay, make sure everything is laid out the exact same. Don't put your own twist on things, for God's sake. Don't ever do that. You're not an artist to be unique and self-express. You're out here to imitate always. And you're out here to never find the fine line between inspiration and your own twist. You don't want to figure out where that is.
Oh.
No, you want to just...
Why do the work?
Template. Yeah, here's the template. It worked for them. I'm going to do that. And by some weird factor, I will be unique, even though I'm doing everything exactly the same. And then I'll make sure to complain that I'm not having the success of original artists I look up to.
Right. Even what I like to do is see that one person had a nice post that went viral and then just completely jump onto that ship and change all my plans and make those posts kind of happen. Fall's a good example. As wildlife photographers, we would like jump ship and take advantage of the fall craze that I never really personally felt from sort of my photos. Maybe they sucked because I didn't have this advice back then. But a lot of people went nuts with like the fall repost and the repost and getting thousands and thousands and thousands of likes on a photo. And it was like, you got it. And then your fall photos got to come earlier and earlier every year. So yeah, make sure you're copying like those sorts of trends and completely get away from what you're doing. Again, no need to reinvent the wheel when you can just copy it from someone else that's doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you're an artist. Why do things your way? That's silly. Caveats. Because I have advocated for this on the show. I'm putting on my serious cap now for 10 seconds. Caveat. When you're trying to learn a technique or how an artist has done something, I have copied something exactly how it is, learned the technique, and then applied it in my own way beyond that. Totally fair. Suggest people do this for editing, reverse engineering your favorite or a shot that inspired you or an artist that you look up to. Reverse engineer to get your shot exactly the same. Helps you learn the tools. Don't build the house the same way, though, moving on. Right? I like to think of it as it's teaching me how to use the hammer, how to use the saw, how to use the planer, how to use all the tools by going backwards and building what I love so much from other people. Definitely, I am an advocate for that. I am not being sarcastic. Do that.
Yeah.
But it's like math problems, right? Like you take the theories and then you apply, right? But I think there can be a tendency to get stuck in that forever. Maybe subconsciously, and then you just don't have your own style. I know it's maybe it's not, it used to be. How do I find my own style? How do I find my own style? By doing just that, learning the tools and then putting your own spin on it. And when you say, this looks good, trust that feeling.
Yeah. Then same. I check presets, check what presets do to the sliders on the right, and then start to reverse engineer and figure out what you like, what you don't like. But just slapping on a preset or buying, I want to be as famous as Chris Burkhardt. I'm going to buy his presets and just slap them onto my photos and not think about any of what's actually going into it is maybe not the best way to go.
Sure.
If we're talking realistically and how to not be the worst photographer. But yeah, finding your own sort of avenue of what you like in art, what you like to see, and sort of honing that in to a specific editing style or subject matter without feeling like you need to chase what's popular.
For sure. And I guess this is a sub point and what I would recommend if you wanted to be one of the worst photographers ever artistically is editing the same way forever. I think that artist evolution is silly. You got it right the very first time, of course.
Yeah. Perfect.
You plan on doing this for 30 years. You should be editing the same way you did in year 1 as you are in year 30. I mean, that goes without saying. By this merit, the clarity slider in Lightroom for me should still be at 100 always. Everything should just be crushed with texture because I loved that in my first year of editing. So, and people were responding to it. There were lots of good likes and shares, and so why mix it up? Definitely don't do what I'm doing now, where sometimes you don't even move the sliders because it looks good out of camera. You have to edit. You must. Because you've done it always. Don't ever think that editing less means you're, let me rephrase this. If you're editing less, you're going backwards as an editor for sure. It's definitely not a progression of style or maturity. You just have gotten lazy and maybe lost your skills and you suck at post-processing.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that way when that happens, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
why did this not require any edit? Well, to be serious, maybe think of it this way. Perhaps you've just gotten so much better at lighting and composing a shot and getting your settings right out of camera. You've upgraded gear. Perhaps your editing style was a crutch for images that were just bad out of the back of the camera.
Yeah, you're trying to, for me, I was definitely trying to do too much and trying to create a bit much. And some really, still today, I'm like, that is cool and that worked in that moment.
And you learned a lot again about the
Again, I learned a ton, but now I am leaning towards certain things. And I do feel sometimes forced mentally to be like, do a little bit more, like make it something different than out of camera. I do think with today's technology, the idea of being able to edit and really see a vision and create it and know what the tools do is important, because a cell phone does a pretty good HDR and like blends the highlights and the shadows pretty good and decent colors. And I think the difference can be sometimes like, oh, they added some mood or emotion into this or enhanced the lighting. So understanding your edits and what you're really looking for and the story you want to portray, I think is an important skill and separates people from being a good photographer to also being a good photographer and editor, which I think really are a couple of different things. They work really well together, but they are different.
How would you describe your editing style currently in one word?
It's one word.
One word. Does not follow instructions.
Moodish. I wouldn't say
mood. Your dictionaries, everyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't say moody completely.
There's a difference between moody and moodish.
Yeah, it's like you said
slightly
one word.
Less than moody.
I was going to say slightly moody, but yeah. Let me answer that question in more than one word. I am taking every photo as its own photo. I'm not slapping Mantis photography on every single photo. I'm saying what works for this photo based on the lighting, the emotion, the color. Do I want to exaggerate color because that's what was kind of cool? Do I want to mute color because I don't want it to distract from the emotion of the subject? Do I want to enhance the shadows and the light? What do I want to do based on each photo versus back in the day? I know all the clarity goes about here, and then I up the texture, and saturation comes down, vibrance goes up. Like I know my things that I would typically just go, not even look at the photo, but just kind of go down and like put it into my spots, and then kind of check things and tweak things.
This is my look. Yeah. So my question is that approach you described, the former approach. What's one word to describe that look or that process for you?
Why do I have to do one word? Can I just say two?
Because it's hard.
Personal dash perception. So it's one hyphenated word.
Can't do it. He can't do it.
Personal realism.
Wow. Very artsy.
Emotional realism.
Okay.
I'm stuck at two words. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Because this is a 2-person show and you were rude and didn't ask me mine, I'll say what mine is.
Yeah, no, I was just about to.
Yeah, I know. I know you were about to, but it's funnier that I got there before you and called you out for being rude.
Yeah. Do it in half a word.
No, I would say current editing style is an attempt to be harmonious. What I mean by that is well blended, not in the sense of like even shadow, HDR sense, how your iPhone makes everything, very dynamic. Not in that sense, but harmonious in the sense of sort of your example. This photo needs a lot of darkness in certain areas, and that blends well with the whites and the emotion that I'm trying to tell. I'm not trying to get too artsy fartsy. The same with like color harmony. I've put a lot more focus on that. I'm trying to like treat the colors, highlights, shadows as, neighbors. And making sure that everybody in the homeowners association gets along. And just like a neighborhood, you have maybe your main color that's pretty eccentric, and then you have your regular people who are just not sticking out too much, but they're adding to the neighborhood. This is a ridiculous example, but this is sometimes how I think about things.
Yeah.
And just make sure it's like a harmonious image. That's the best way I can describe it. Let's move on.
Gotcha.
This might be my favorite one of how to be the worst photographer ever artistically. Got to clear the throat for this one because it's serious. Okay. You're going to want to make sure in your attempt to be the worst photographer artistically ever that the effort it took to acquire a photograph positively correlates with its quality. In other words, I traveled half the globe, hiked 40 kilometers to this indigenous tribe in the mountains. The light was perfect after 4 days of rain, and I took this glorious image of a, chief or a indigenous person in a remote location with this beautiful landscape, okay? Mm-hmm. So like tons of money spent, tons of hours of hard work. That means that the photo is therefore great. Because of course, the audience that views this image when I publish it knows all of this, right? Inherently, they should know all the effort I went through, and they should see that because of that, this image I have shared is grateful or is exceptional.
Yeah.
And then when the image flops for whatever reason, like it does online often, you're going to want to make sure you become furious and irate when people don't understand all the effort you went through and don't understand that it's a good photo. Because it's silly that they only see the end result, right? They should just know all the hard work that I went through. And then vice versa, you're going to want to feel like a total loser because a shot that took you 2 seconds at a pull-off along a highway is one of your most successful ever. Because you didn't work very hard for that. So, my God, it can't be good. So get really down on yourself that people respond to that photo because there was minimal effort required compared to your other gauntlet of a hike and expedition that was inherently good because of the effort.
Yeah. And make sure you definitely post about it.
Oh,
Except
don't jump the gun. I have this point later on.
but make sure you do that and browbeat people into knowing that this was some of your best work. Again, confusing. Effort is part of it.
Yeah.
With photography, it's just part of it. It reminds me of posting pictures of kingfishers from 200 yards away that I zoomed in just barely to be able to see what they are, and chasing them around on a paddleboard with my camera between my knees, like holding it, risky, hours of chasing, paddling, exhausted, getting these really mediocre shots, but being so proud that I captured this bird.
Yeah, and then somebody's
So now I
elbow
need to
deep in a
post
bag
it.
of chips on the couch scrolling Instagram. They go,
Yeah.
cool bird. Next
Yeah.
meme.
Meh. Yeah. Not that great. I've seen that bird
I've seen that bird in a fish
a
tank
million
before.
times. Yeah, in a fish tank. But yeah, no, I agree. Effort
Right?
is quality.
All right, flipping the script. Effort is not quality. Just because you worked hard, extremely hard to acquire a photograph does not necessarily make the final product that everyone sees exceptional. And so you have to have that detachment between the process and the response to the final image because it's unfair. The audience doesn't get to know all that.
Mhm.
And if you just look at the image for what it is and remove all the pre-production, that's what a good image is, for better or
Yeah.
worse.
I don't know if you happen to see, but Taryn did her first wedding that she's been on the show. That girl kills it. Like now she's doing weddings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she
When did she
posted
do that? And she's pregnant.
I know.
Wow.
There's no excuses.
I guess not.
She's like the what's his name of photography. Oh, I'm blanking on that guy. The runner.
Usain Bolt?
No, the runner that does like 200 miles.
Oh,
And
Andy Glaze?
yeah, but not him.
Oh.
The guy that screams about it and
Oh, David Goggins.
yeah, she's the David Goggins of photography. Jeez, how did I lose that in my brain?
Yeah,
All right, but she posted a photo of the bride in her dress and there's light behind it and it's like all tangled up and she's putting on her high heel shoe and the bottom of the shoe is like this emerald green and everything else is like white and blown out and I literally messaged her and she thought I was kidding. I'm like, this is the best photo I've seen in a long time. And
Oh,
she's like,
nice.
are you kidding? And I'm like, not even from you, like overall, like this is an awesome photo. But that was one of 500 photos that she handed over, like in terms of effort, she was there for the day and doing her job and created this really cool piece. But I don't even know if she thought it was an amazing photo or knew that it was an amazing photo. And it to me, it was like, it doesn't mean unanimously it was, but I thought it was very, very cool. So, yeah, just, it doesn't, you don't need to hike Mount Everest and climb Mount Everest to have a great photo. And frankly, if you climbed all the way to the top of Mount Everest, that photo is going to be like, it's going to be cool, but it's been done a bajillion times and it's probably not going to be that amazing because it's way up top on the mountain. You're looking down and like, I don't know, scale, whatever. But
Yeah, I hear you. I just went to go search this as you were describing it on Instagram on my desktop. Stupid Instagram. It looks like you shared your password to help a service. It looks like you shared your password with a service to help you get more likes or followers, which goes against our community standards. It says your account was compromised. I've been getting this. I haven't been able to follow people back, like anything. It's so random.
that's weird.
I'm the last person who would buy followers or likes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. I'm wondering if my
Are you
that app
hacked?
no, I haven't. That app that restricts how much time I can spend on Instagram.
Could, yeah. Do you have
But I've
to?
had that for a long time and I've never dealt with this.
Huh. I don't know.
I don't think it actually links to the account. I don't ever remember linking it. I think it just is a barrier before an app opens.
Hmm.
So I don't know. People, if you've experienced this, let me know what to do. Maybe this is for the best. I just can't go on it.
Yeah.
Super weird though.
That is weird.
It's happened to me twice, and now I have to change my password in order to be able to use it.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I can't see Terrence's photos. Lame sauce. All right. Okay. All right. Had to be the worst photographer ever. Artistically. Moving on. You almost jumped the gun in our last example, but I will say it now. You're going to want to complain, okay, about how none of your followers see your work anymore and how Instagram sucks. And you're going to want to especially do this regularly in your stories on Instagram and just completely ignore the irony of that. And maybe do that once or twice a month. Talk about how awful something is, a service, and continue to use it and I guess vote for it essentially, rather than just finding some inner peace and accepting things for what they are. I don't know about you. Like when I hire a service, like let's say a contractor in my house or something, if they've done a terrible job and I complain about it, they leave a bad review, I make sure to rehire them.
Yeah.
That's better than just moving on with my life or finding something else to put my time into. Because if I complain about it, maybe the rules and the way the app works will change.
Yeah.
Or maybe it will be, maybe I'm feeling insecure about my posts and it'll let everybody know that it's not my fault. Because people care.
Nothing. I can't even fake this one because it drives me nuts. I'm going straight into the reality of it. I don't think there's anything. That's my pet peeve on social media. Is like people complaining about a free service that is showing your art to thousands of people. And it's usually the people that have like big accounts. So thousands of people. It's never the audience or you or like, it's always the algorithm. It's always the algorithm. Like it didn't show my work to enough people. Fucking pay them. Pay them to do that.
Or
service.
play the way they want you to, if that matters.
Play the way, or like, yeah, play the game or pay for that service. It's like this. It's a delusional ideology that like my work that should get me maybe business or connections or notoriety should be displayed to everyone for free just because I am who I am, which is basically no one.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly.
It's kind of like going into a restaurant and they're like, "Hey, we're doing a tasting of like some of our appetizers. Like feel free to grab a plate." And you being like, "You're not giving me the whole entrees for free?" Like, no, you can pay for them. I want 16 wings, not just 2 to taste. You can pay for 16 if you want that.
You know what it's even more like, actually? It's like your restaurant analogy where they say, hey, we're offering a special. If you sample these wings or whatever, then you get $5 off your meal. And you go, but I want to sample something else and still get $5 off. And they're like, well, no, that's not the promotion. Well, it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like you have the time to not only take the photo, to post it, to think of a caption, but then like you're really analyzing the reach and the response. And then that's fine. You can be bummed out. we've all been there where like this is a banger and then it flops and you're like, huh. And then some weirdo photo that you put up there just randomly does well and you're like, huh, okay. Like we've all been pleasantly pleased. No one backs off when you get more. No one backs off and says like, hey, Instagram.com, help needed. The engagement was super high. Just want to make sure that you're spreading the wealth and making sure that other photographers have the chance to share their photos. I appreciate my photo going viral. However, it does not seem to be the average.
Yeah,
No one does it.
Algorithm.
Yeah, and something wrong with your algorithm because I'm getting a lot of attention. No. That makes sense to my ego. That's the attention I should be getting every single time.
Every time.
So,
yes, 60% of the time, every time.
Going back on to then make another post about that and the lack of engagement or the lack of people liking this photo. By the way, a photo you've done 700 times in a row in just like a different vantage point, but you have to complain about it. Like, are you working out? Like, is your house in order? Are you paying all your bills?
Say, like, take a minute to realize how good life is, that you have the ability and like the time and to be able to sit down, craft a message that vents your frustration and share it with people publicly. Like you need to have some more things going on.
Yeah, that shit gives me the ick, as the kids
say. You got to
say.
have some more, and like find some inner peace, you know? As you would say, why aren't you, it's an area you're not free because you're clearly triggered. Why? Right?
Yeah, man.
Not feel smart enough to sort out mysterious algorithm? Does it make you feel lesser than? You know, there's some work that can be done when you cue into the fact of why is this bothering me so much to the point that I need to publicly talk about this frustration. Do you feel the need to defend your art? Do you think it's not good work? Like, you know, there's so many questions that can be asked rather than the post, the energy and the time spent in the post.
It can be a deep layer of like false confidences based on one post or two posts that gets X amount of likes. And then that's my bar. My bar just got raised to that. That's my worth. All the comments that like, great photo, this, blah, 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 blah. Just all the automated bullcrap, like this surface level comments. The comments that matter are the ones that like you can tell have some thought, or someone DMs you and says like, hey, this picture's awesome. Like, how'd you do that? Or like, what was your editing style? Those are the people that really care versus a very superficial. Like, it's the same as like walking by someone being like, how are you as you walk by? You're not looking for any answer. You're just like, it's just like a reflex. Like, how are you? Good day. And you just keep walking.
No, and it's like, grab your jacket, stop you. Well, this morning
yeah, and like that exactly. So it's this built up thing where then you have to like protect your artwork or your ego or whatever it is and blame it on something. It can't be that your audience is bored with your stuff. It can't be that your photo was not good. It can't be that your photo was just a little busy and didn't look great on a phone. It can't be any of those things.
Can't be that you didn't catch someone's attention in this day and age where attention span goes down every single day. Couldn't be that.
Can't be that your caption wasn't funny and you're not a comedian. It can't be any of those things. It's the algorithm and screw Instagram. Screw Instagram for not allowing my work to be shared with millions for free.
Yeah.
It's just an insane.
Yeah.
Delusional.
Do some inward looking, figure it out. If this triggers you, I'm sorry. Like,
just stop. Just go write it in your journal. Stop putting it out there. It makes you look like a
goofy,
whiny pants. Yes. Sorry, everyone that's ever done that.
Yeah, you don't. Have
we've all thought it. We've all thought it, but at the same time,
that's okay.
Have some self-worth.
I mean, at the same time, live the way you want to live. Right? If that's what you want to do. It's just, I don't know. It's a suggestion.
Just know you'll be blocked.
You know what? That is fair. I have got into the maybe this is why I got my
just blocking everyone.
My suspension. Well, no, seriously. I went through my Instagram suspension. I went through and I've muted every single person that has posted anything political on either end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not here for. I don't care. I don't. Even if I love you as a person, I'm like, I've muted you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that. I'm here for great
Yeah.
images, good people, and good time. I'm here, like we talked about. I'm here when I'm on the app. The small amounts of time I'm here to leave it feeling better, not worse.
Yeah.
And if you're going to contribute to that experience being worse and unenjoyable, like I'm just going to mute you. It's even though I like your work, it's nothing personal. I'm just going to do that. So I have muted people that do that and people who have complained. They're just routinely complain like that. Not because I think I'm better than anybody, but just because I'm trying to control my experience, right?
Yeah.
And have a more internal locus of control and not feel like the world. It's a small way to feel like the world's not happening to you and that you are in kind of control of your domain because you are in small examples like that.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing that I have, how to be the worst photographer artistically ever. This is going to drastically reduce the quality of your headspace. Kind of builds on what we just said. I would suggest that you compare yourself to others online and spend a gross amount of time on your phone looking at all the people who are better at photography than you. Even though you got some pretty good shots and a pretty good portfolio, make sure you really get sucked into looking at all those 0.1 top percent of photographers globally. And make sure you feel that you suck so bad that you just quit, because that's why you started, so that you could just give up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way, I guess, to not be a photographer anymore. Different episode.
Yeah, that's great advice. And it's important to know that if you're really proud of a grizzly bear shot that you got while you were away in Alaska, that when you post it, you will and should look into the 10,000 other shots that are far better than your grizzly bear shot and make you feel like absolute crap.
Yeah, because if there's one better than yours.
Go ahead.
If there's one better than yours, you're terrible.
Yeah, and hopefully that motivation gets you out there to find the golden shot. But if not, you should probably just pack it in and quit, because what's the point? What's the point of posting photos if there's one, if not 1,000 other ones that are way better? There's no point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of being the best you can be and running your own race? I mean,
stupid. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, you should be better than everyone else that you see, even if you've only been a year into this. I don't care that person's a seasoned veteran with 40 years of outdoor experience in the Alaskan backcountry. I mean, I just got a 150 to 600. I mean, I should be getting those bangers too when I step off the plane in Anchorage.
Boom. Banger, banger, banger. It is kind of amazing. Like, I'm taking a pause right here. It's amazing that we are there for one stint of 6 hours and like the photos that you come away with. And then you think about some of our contemporaries and peers that spend the entire summer there. And you're like, well, wow. Like they will never, they will never not have any sort of angle or lighting or experience. Like, you multiply our 6 hour term by however many days.
We have friends that are bear guides in Alaska, and they live there every single day. Of course, they're going to have incredible shots. Arthur and Brooke.
And they do. And we see them and we go, damn it.
Yeah, and then that's where gratitude steps in. Like, I got this 4 hours on my one trip to Alaska where I got to be on the tidal flats with bears. I got some great photos in the 4 hours that I spend there. They're there for an entire summer. Of course, they're going to have a wicked portfolio. How can why would I even possibly start down that road of comparing myself?
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy.
Right? Because if I did, my bear photos just fall flat now. You got these beautiful sunsets behind, and, mom's nursing cubs. I should have been able to get all that in 4 hours.
No, right. So and on the other side of this, key into why you're doing things and what it does for you and how it makes you feel and the reasons you like being in nature or helping a couple out with their portraits or whatever the genre is that gives you the most joy, it's dangerous to look. I'll tell you what. There's thousands of, if not hundreds of thousands of really good photographers out there, and you could drive yourself crazy by comparison, because it's like I will never be that good or that privileged. That's the creeping thought. And it happens to me. It happens in any hobby, in golf, in music. It's like you can always find like even these nobodies in music that post stuff to Instagram or YouTube, that their guitar work, and you're like, what the hell? Like, it makes me want to quit.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. It's not the point being the best. The point is like, oh, like playing guitar chills me out, and like it's fun to figure out a song and the puzzle of it, and
Yeah.
it's fun to create music, blah 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 blah. Same with photography. It's fun to be outside. It's fun to see these moments. It's fun to experience life through the lens.
Yeah, and I mean, using the music analogy too, I think it's impossible to say that even the most popular bands that one is better than the other. They're all
Yeah, no.
uniquely different.
Mhm.
And that's the point. I think that's can be synonymous with the art of photography. Like, you want to be uniquely your own,
Mhm. Yeah.
whatever that means, and potentially see your full potential if that's something that's important to you,
Yeah.
rather than I need to be better than, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll say on this is I think it's important to find ways to protect your joy, right? So,
Mhm.
a personal example of this is, as everyone knows, I love running. You've recently gotten into this.
Mhm.
And fun to kind of watch you take that on.
I'm going as soon as we're done.
Right on, man. Obviously, people know the big app for fitness is Strava, right?
I refuse.
I refuse as well. I will never download that app. I'm happy for people who find joy in it, but I know that simply not downloading Strava is an easy, surefire way to protect the joy of something that is very important to me, which is running. Because the last thing I want to do is feel like I'm working my absolute hardest at my limit on this journey of self discovery or whatever, or trying to reach new heights, and see that, my hardest pace is somebody else's easy pace. Like, how does that add to my experience? How does that add joy or potentially rob me of it? Like, the risk reward is so low, and I refuse to. It keeps a level of pureness in it that it's purely offline, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can't really compare. I mean, watch a lot of YouTube, but that's for learning, not.
Mhm.
And I just don't like the idea of like needing validation from exercise. It should be done because it's fun and because you want to do it. And I don't want to get lost, right? So protect your peace and your joy in ways that are potentially of restrictive quality, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's a good message.
All right. This was How to Be the Worst Photographer Ever. Artistic wise, last week was business edition. If you like these episodes, feel free to leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a cost-free, effective way to support our show. We're creeping up on 300 episodes, man.
Wow.
This is Sparta.
This is Sparta.
We should just dress up as Spartans for it. Paint
We
on
should.
some abs and
Paint on. You don't need to paint them on.
you don't need to with your running.
Yeah, buddy. Getting in shape.
What's the main guy in it? Gerard Butler over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy cow. All right. Until next week, man.